And that was unfortunate to find out about two people I really did think were friends. But then to hear them repeat things I've already confessed to back to me publicly, like they're saying something, I'm like, okay. Like Gino was like, Aaron, it was Aaron's idea to do the swinging. He wanted to have sex with KAYLA. And I'm like, didn't I tell the story where I said I pulled April aside during our vacation because she wouldn't stop talking about like the experience she had with KAYLA the night before? So I'm like, okay, I think I see where this is going. Why don't I suggest this? And so I did, and I did want to have sex with KAYLA. I mean, I admitted that. And then remember I said to those two, I said I was in love with her and she was in love with me. And she said I was her soulmate. And I said the same thing back to her. And I'm sitting here believing it, right? Wasn't it Keanu? Wasn't she the one who was, Aaron, she was playing you. It was also April could be with Nick. And she was, Keanu's the one who put that in my head. If she hadn't put that in my head, my whole thing would have been like, yeah, what KAYLA and I had was real. I mean, I thought it was. And then she talked me out of it, which is part my fault, by the way, for being, I mean, the desperation I'm seeing from some people, it's gross. Like, it's really bad. It's just kind of, it's like I said last week. Like, they take their shots, they don't hit, and then they get mad at me that they don't hit. I don't know what else to do. And I know some people are desperate for money, and like the anti-steel toe train might be a way to get there, but you got to remember, I'm the guy who's been telling the truth the whole time, confessing his sins, talking about what he did wrong. That probably too much. I'm just kind of like, well, by the time I'm ready to talk about it, it's already over, because like all that has a shelf life of like 24 hours. And then everyone's like, yeah, we don't give. That's like I said last week. I was like, I'm just going to high road this shit. My show is my job. It's not my life. We'll do the job. We'll entertain the audience. We'll make our money. And then we'll go. I think we're like $60 ahead for tomorrow, which is really cool. It's a great start to the week. And then we'll talk about all the stuff that's going on, talk about the weekend, and then let you guys go off and have your day. That's the whole point of the deal. And like working through his issues publicly as well as privately. And that's admirable. And then two people get cried to by someone who has proven themselves to be quite manipulative. And all of a sudden, I'm the biggest asshole who ever lived. Look, I know what it is. I see through it. It's like I said last week, it is what it is. You don't get a phone call. You don't get a text, anything like that. It's just, it's all very high school to me. Like, to me, it's very Mean Girls. Like, if a pretty blonde girl cries, like, to cover up their embarrassment or their mistakes, and then the big, ugly, loud guy confesses his sins and everything else, people are still going to believe, some people are still going to believe the pretty blonde girl. It's just the way shit goes. It doesn't bother me. It's happened before. It'll happen again. I know I stand in the truth, so people want to shove their knives in their back when they think it's an opportune time to do so. I mean, fine. I heard something from a vindictive ex. Really? I'd take it to the bank then, because they're always telling it like it is. Not the guy who confessed that he's a giant and almost lost his children and did something incredibly degenerate and disgusting and awful. Don't blame that guy. Blame the people. No, definitely blame that guy. Don't blame the people who actually got arrested, aren't admitting any guilt, and don't give a shit. I mean, those people are definitely the more, like I said before, stack my character here, there. Well, actually, no. Stack my character here, theirs here. I'm comfortable with that. That's fine. If you make the wrong decision, that's on you. Yeah, speaking of bullshit, some guy was trying to tell me, he's like, yeah, I made a clip. You should look at it. Johnny's talking shit, saying you tried to get him to help you to destroy April. I mean, destroy her. First of all, she did that on her own. Second of all, I said I want her to get healthy. I want her to get better. I want to see her live a full life. She's young. She's, full of potential. And then I looked at the clip, and I talked to Johnny, and Johnny's literally saying, Aaron was really mad one night, and he was venting to me privately, and he goes, you know what, just go on the air and thank her for your raise. Just be a dick about it. And then when I got up in the morning, I said, dude, don't do that. That's a shitty thing to do. I was just mad and venting and blah, blah, blah. That's a weird thing now, is like venting to your friends used to be a way for you to get shit out. Like venting to your friends used to be a way for you to say things you don't mean in an emotional moment so you can just get that poison out of you. But now I've learned a very valuable lesson, which is people on the internet aren't your friends. These are just crazy people who are obsessed with clout. Weak like that. But like people get into your head and they around with it when you're vulnerable and then they yell at you for it. It's like, this is why like communication between men and women is so fucked up. Women are like so like go behind and don't be direct. And men are very direct. And so they can't conceive of the go behind and the stab in the back. So we kind of come off as big, dumb oafs a lot of the time. But really all we are is like, hey, if you got a problem, just tell me. But they would go in there and be like, she never really liked you. This was all April and all of them and KAYLA and all them. They were conniving so they could pull this thing off. And they just got you to suggest it. And I was the one going, no, I suggested it. I saw the two girls having fun. And then April's talking about it the next day as we're in the airport. And then we get into bed and I'm like, you want to do this? And we thought we were in a really good spot. So we're like, yeah, our relationship's healthy. Let's do it. Blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, you know, I believe the saying is not even once. Then you introduce a picture and falls apart real fast. But yeah, it's just weird that those two would put that shit in my head and then turn around and go, I think he just wanted KAYLA for himself. I thought that's what I confessed at first, and then you talked me out. It's just, and it's interesting to watch the internet kind of see her for what she is. And, you know, I can't say I feel bad because it is mighty opportunistic. T. Jefferson says, Kiki quite effectively pumped you for info. Yeah. I mean, boy, she just kind of used and abused, pretended and faked. She's good at it, man. Like I said, I don't conceive betrayal very well. I don't see it coming at all. I didn't see it coming with the group, and I didn't see it coming with this. I mean, I don't like the idea that I was kind of just used for clout because I don't think I have any clout to give. But I mean, I guess if you're low enough, then I look like which is sad, but yeah, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. Was it the person next to me who was strung out, or was it me who could barely stay awake for a show without pumping 2 or 3 Celsius into my body and probably permanently damaging my heart? Is that, hey, I think something's going on. The other person keeps going like this and leaving the room 7, 8 times a show. And the other person is looking at the person talking going, oh, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm awake. I'm good. Let me just hear it. Way to call it. You and everybody else on the internet was calling it. I mean, a pastor saw it.